Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby002a Show, along with my sidekick, Andrew Guitros.
Good morning.
We're going to wish Mr. Ross Hebert, who was in an accident some year plus, about 14 months ago, 15 months ago. And we want to wish him success in his rehab and his birthday. He's got a birthday coming up March 23rd. So while the show is going to be on the 21st. It's better to wish him now than after the fact about 5 days later. So, right. Ross, keep up the rehab work, and may God be with you every effort that you put out. May He be by your side, giving you the strength to take these rehab exercises. It's hard, but it's well worth it, and we love you, and I know your family loves you. Keep up the good work. Ross Hebert.
We got Swamp and Roll Thursday night at 6 p.m. will be Gino Delafos will be performing over on Swamp and Roll, and they're going to replay it again on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. So if you want to watch over from the Black Gold Casino, you can see the party and what's going on, and our guys at KDCG at their new location, and see Todd and Dr. Feelgood Jr.
That's right.
And also we've got some ticket giveaways still. Kenny Chesney's ticket giveaway, his concert's April the 4th at the Cajun Dome. You can text the word FOOL, F-O-O-L, to 64636. If you do that, you can win tickets to see Kenny Chesney. And if you want to go to the World of Wheels car show, it's a 3-day car show at the Cajun Dome Convention Center from April 12th through April 14th. You can text WOW for World of Wheels to 6436 and win tickets for that as well.
Ms. Fawn Futrell, our dear friend from Port Barre, Louisiana, is putting us on notice that the annual Port Barre Easter Sunrise Service, which is sponsored by area churches, will be held March 31st at 6:30 a.m. on the beautiful Bayou Teche Park, at the Bayou Teche Park, behind Bork's store. Yep. All area pastors are urged to participate in the service. In case of rain, service will be held at the New Life Assembly Church. That's on Highway 190. That would be west of Port Barre, and that would be almost across from King's Truck Stop there. And says, please bring your own chair for seating. And Ms. Futrell, of course, has been involved with this for many, many years, and may you have good health and a happy Easter to all of you. And speaking of that, there's Come and Bless Israel, a night to honor Israel and bless Israel and the Jewish people. And this will be taking place at the Global House of Praise Christian Refuge Center in Port Barre. That's our pastor friend, Mr. Bobby Gradney.
On the road that leads to Red Devil Stadium there, or I guess as people like to call it, the OG track, if you're old-time Port Barre.
If you're old-time Port Barre. And speaker for the night will be Evangelist Caleb Cream of Abbeville, Louisiana. And they really draw a large crowd each time that Pastor Bobby Gradney and his church hold one of these special events. They really draw big crowds. And that's March 24th. That's this, Saturday? At 7 p.m. I forgot to mention that. March 24th, this Saturday, 7 p.m.
And good morning to Miss Brenda LaFleur over at the AT&T store in Crowley, Louisiana. I walked in to get a part for my phone, and she looked at me, she kind of laughed and was helping, and she called me by name, and I finally said, well, how do we know each other? She says, well, I watch you and Bobby on the show, and she says, when I come to town, I go to church with family over at St. Landry Catholic Church. So good morning, Brenda LaFleur. Nice to have met you. And another guy, you know, for years, Joe Lamel's brought stuff around for UPS. See him running and rushing around, and he sees you on the street, he toots the horn and waves. I had no clue his dad is Howard Lamel. So I want to tell Mr. and Mrs. Howard Lamel, good morning this morning. I know they watch the show regularly as well. And Joe, you keep up that good work. You always got a smile on your face and always running with those packages. Good morning.
And let's have a few maybe pictures
some photos.
here.
I can do some photos. How's this one?
Okay, this is the young man, Nathan, who was the waiter over at Charlie G's last, probably Thursday night. I had the good fortunes of being invited as a guest of the Imperial Fire and Casualty Insurance Company quarterly meeting, the dinner after their meeting. And this young man took care of the whole table, and I guess we were 8 or 10 of us, and did a great job. So I asked him if he'd mind giving me the opportunity to take a picture and talk about Charlie G's, a fine restaurant. I have to admit, hadn't been there in quite a while, but if anything, it's improved. And the service with young people like this who are college students needing your business, they do a wonderful job. And the next picture should show us the group that was that made up this group. And we're speaking about Neil. We have Phil. We have Joe, Mr. Joe. We always call him Mr. Joe. He's probably younger than me, but for some reason everybody calls him Mr. Joe. Then Glenn Weber is a new man out of New York City, and then Dwayne is now the president and executive officer, along with, of course, our own Mark Carter here in Opelousas.
I see Dirk Boudreaux in the background,
and then
too.
Dirk Boudreaux, and then, of course, the person I speak about fishing trips and all, Mr. Blue, Bunall. And then I wanted a picture for myself in that group. So there we are, right there. And of course, they were spending the night over at Evangeline Downs Hotel. So we want to thank them for choosing Evangeline Downs Hotel each time that they hold one of these meetings. And Blue needed some advice on some, I guess, aquatic formulas or something. He had a little situation that needed to be, and I suggested we go over to the pool shop, and which we did, and didn't realize who the gentleman waiting on us was, but that person, of course, is Mr. Jim Adams. And I said, Adams, I said, any kin to Ben? He said, that's my son.
There you go.
And he smiled when he said that, by the way. He was happy. Ben and his wife, Beth, are now the owners of the pool shop. The pool shop was started by Paul Gus and Madeline Dupre, my first cousin, Gus. And they do a real nice business, been in business a long time. And we...
Put a pool in for your brother John, put a pool in for my mother, my aunt, almost the whole family, I think, bought a pool from Gus at one time or another.
There you go, there you go. I never had that. I got my own pond pool.
That's right, you go swim in the pond.
In the pond. And let's not say that because it's not deep enough. We don't want anybody jumping in there. And this is Paul B. Avenue, formerly from Opelousas, now hailing from Lafayette, Louisiana, and we were discussing a little financial matter that he was giving me some advice on. And we were at Préjean's, where our good chef,
Ernest
Préjean holds fort, and didn't get to see him. He was off that day. And this is a little shot, a little different shot of the sun setting at my house, my oak trees that Jim Frugier planted many years ago. And this young lady was, I mean, around and about over at the steamboat. You're going to want to talk about the steamboat right now.
Oh, I can talk about it right now.
And this is Miss Linda. Well, I had to have a picture and get her name because everybody was commenting that saw her. I don't know how new she is, but she'll certainly move her probably into being a waiter in the near future.
If you want to go by the Steamboat Warehouse in beautiful Washington, Louisiana, they got all the great foods there, from the great seafoods and shrimp and crawfish type meals and soft shell crabs. They've also got the great steaks, Angus steaks there, huge wine selection, adult libations. You can enjoy a nice Bloody Mary with a pickled Zydeco inside your glass right there on the wharf, and talk to chef owner Jason Hugate. Always has unusual and excellent tasting dishes, and of course all your traditional dishes that you're used to eating there are still on the menu as well. Go by the Steamboat Warehouse. And where are we going next? You want to go to this picture?
Yep, and I was able to attend the wake, and actually the funeral services were held after I left a few minutes later, and that was Saturday. I got to the funeral home of Fountain Memorial Funeral Home and Cemetery, and they have a large cemetery there. I had never been to Fountain Memorial Funeral Home, but a young lady that was raised here in Opelousas, Diana Joy Pete Savoy, age 82, passed away. And when I was reading the obituary, I noticed that our friend, classmate, Henry Pete Jr., HN, we called him HN Pete, that was his sister. Then it all started coming back. She was a little older than we were, but I remember the beautiful ones. You always have a little place up in that memory bank for them, and she was a beautiful young lady and had been living in Lafayette area most of her adult life, if not all of it. And I also learned that HN is not doing very well, so to all of you out there, if you remember HN Pete in your daily prayers, I deeply appreciate it. And I know his wife Leah, who is the one who told me of his condition, so I'm giving it to you directly from his wife. He may not be out of the hospital anytime soon. And anyhow, nice visiting with everybody there. I was cordially, and I spoke to a son, and I didn't get his name, and I apologize. Very nice young man, and I'm speaking to Diana's young son. And